Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Brandon, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Giants Connected Franchise Mode, where we're currently sitting at 2-3 on the season, with a chance to get our record back up to 500, and that'll come with our matchup against the New York Jets. So without any delay, let's go ahead and get this game started. We come out in MetLife Stadium for what's technically an away game, but really doesn't feel like it, especially with our Color Rush unis on. We start out on defense with Zach Wilson and the Jets throwing to begin, and he finds Garrett Wilson over the middle open for a good catch and run as they get into our territory. Very next play, he finds Tyler Conklin for about 15 and yet another first. And on 2nd and 3, he looks and throws outside to Tyler Boyd, who turns the corner, and just like that, the Jets are up 7-0. We then start out on offense with a run to Saquon, but he is dropped in the backfield. And then on 2nd and 12, we find Mike Gesicki through the air, which really opens up our ground game as Saquon is able to pick up a nice 10 yards here, followed by picking up another first down on 2nd and 7. Then on 3rd and 5, we go back to Saquon, and he goes up the middle, but is stopped short. Brings up a 4th and 3, where we go back to Saquon, and he fights forward and picks up the first. And on 1st and 10, we go back to Mike Gesicki, who makes it 1st and goal for us, where just 2 plays later, Saquon would bounce it up the middle and score to tie this game up at 7. Back on defense now, where the Jets were trying to get their ground game going, but I had a good tackle in the backfield there. And on 3rd and 15, Zach Wilson checked it down to Elijah Moore, and we got the ball back. Starting out on 3rd and 10, Jacoby Brissett found Mecole Hardman over the middle, who was just short. And then on 4th and inches, we of course went for it, and Saquon got the handoff and of course picked up the first. He did that on 3rd down through the ground, and he also picked up a nice catch through the air to get us inside the 25. And on 1st and 10, we went back to Mike Gesicki, who once again made it 1st and goal. And on the very next play, he was rewarded with a touchdown as we go up 7 into half. We started out the second half on offense with a great opportunity to increase our lead, and Saquon had us moving down the field with a handful of first downs through the ground. We then went to the air and found Mike Gesicki, who pulled in a nice catch on the sideline and was really having his best day of the season. We then went back to the rushing attack, finding Saquon, and on 2nd and goal, he pushed into the end zone, and it looked like we might run away with this one, having a 14-point lead. We then came out on defense for the first time in the second half, which started off great with the sack by Dexter Lawrence II, but on 2nd and 15, Breece Hall got the handoff, went up the middle, broke a tackle, had a fantastic block, and took it all the way 84 yards into the end zone, and the Jets were within 7. On offense, though, our game plan stayed the same as always, which was to continue picking up first downs and keep that clock moving, whether it was on the ground or through the air. And most importantly, we did what we always do and kept giving the rock to Saquon, who made the most of all of his opportunities and got us inside the red zone, where we found Mike Gesicki over the middle, who once again made it 1st and goal. And after making the Jets use all 3 of their timeouts, Jacoby Brissett went back to Mecole Hardman, and we were up by 2 possessions once again. The Jets then came out down 14 with less than 2 minutes to go and no timeouts remaining, and although they had some success throwing the ball early in the drive, it came down to a 4th and 10 where Zach Milson threw that one outside, and it was swatted away by Eli Apple, and after a couple of runs by Saquon, that was your ball game. The New York Giants beat the Jets by a final score of 28-14, thanks to another fantastic day by Saquon to put us back at 500. This came just in time for our first user game of the season, which came against I'm Toxic Cookies, who was controlling the Buffalo Bills, and after declining this ridiculous trade offer from the Bucs for Saquon and Adoree Jackson, we were ready to get this matchup started. We came out in MetLife Stadium for what was back to a normal home game and started out on offense with Saquon making a good jump cut and picking us up about 9 yards to start. Then on 3rd and 1, he got the handoff up the middle and was able to pick up a first, where we would throw it deep downfield to him, but it was picked off by Xavier Rhodes, and he took it across the 50-yard line and got inside our 25 to about our 24-yard line, and that's not how we wanted to start off our first user game. Out came our sudden change defense, and on 2nd and 5, Nyheim Hines caught a dump-off pass and broke a couple of tackles to make it 1st and goal at the 3-yard line, where Josh Allen would take the snap and throw that one outside to Stephon Diggs for the touchdown, and the Bills were up 7-0. Our offense then came back out to see how we would respond, and Saquon started it off with a fumble, which we were luckily able to recover, and he redeemed himself on 3rd down by barely picking up a 1st down. Then on 1st and 10, we found Mike Gesicki over the middle, who made a man miss and got it to 2nd and inches to set up Saquon to convert on 3rd down yet again. And on 3rd and 4, we threw it short to Saquon, who was stopped about a yard short, just barely. And of course, we decided to go for it. It was going to be a run to Saquon, no huddle. We ID'd the mic, handed it off to Saquon, but he was stuffed in the backfield, and it was a turnover on downs. So out came our defense to do a little damage control, and after David Long Jr. missed an interception opportunity there, Josh Allen heaved this one downfield, and it was miraculously caught by Gabriel Davis. And on 2nd and 5, Josh Allen found Marvin Jones Jr., who got it inside the 15-yard line, then again went to Nyheim Hines to make it 1st and goal, where on 2nd and goal, a quarterback sneak by Josh Allen would put the Bills up 14. So out came our offense with a chance to run a 2-minute drill and get some much-needed points before halftime. On 1st and 10, Brissett was looking for Saquon on the screen, but instead found A.J. Epinesa, and it was another monster play for the Bills to put them back on offense. They came out looking to pass, but Josh Allen was sacked by Azeez Ojulari and David Long Jr. on 1st down before picking up 17 on 2nd and 20. Set up a 3rd and 3 where he would look over the middle, but I made a user pick with Xavier McKinney, and we were back on offense with a chance to score some points, and we did not waste any time finding DeAndre Carter on the left side at the 50, and he would outrun everybody, going all the way into the end zone to make it a one-score game with 44 seconds left. The Bills wanted to prove that 44 seconds was too long though, and they decided to come out passing to try and pick up some points to go into halftime. They started out with a couple of dump-off passes out of the backfield to their running backs, and on 2nd and 10, Nyheim Hines made a couple guys miss and drew a face mask on Xavier McKinney. The Bills weren't satisfied with field goal range though and found Marvin Jones Jr. near the 10-yard line, and Josh Allen ran this one out of bounds at about the 4 before they finally decided to take their 3 and go up 10 into halftime. The Bills came out on offense to start the second half, and we got them to a 3rd and 1, but Josh Allen made a great audible and was able to find Dawson Knox outside, who had all kinds of room in front of him and was finally chased down by Xavier McKinney at the 19. Very next play, Josh Allen scrambled to the right, threw that one in the back corner of the end zone to a wide open Nyheim Hines to give the Bills a 17-point lead. Our offense came back out firing though, as Saquon put on a nasty juke move there to get us started off. Then on the next play, Jacoby Brissett found Mike Gesicki open over the middle, who had his own juke move to get us near the 30. We then went back to the ground game, and Saquon really started to find his rhythm, and on 2nd and 1 ran right up the middle into the end zone to cut the lead back down to 10. I'm showing you the ensuing kickoff, which means that something either really good or really bad happened, as Nyheim Hines took that one 7 yards deep in his own end zone, made a cut to the right, and goodbye. He outran everyone on his way to the end zone to restore the Bills' 17-point lead. Fortunately, when we came back out on offense, we still had Saquon Barkley, who could take a short catch, make a few guys miss, and pick up some extra yards. Brissett then missed Mike Gesicki down the seam, but Saquon bailed him out with a 10-yard run for a 1st down here. Jacoby Brissett then dropped back to pass again, but was pressured from the right and sacked, which led to a 3rd and 25, where he was able to reconnect with DeAndre Carter to make it 4th and manageable, where he found McCole Hardman over the middle, who picked up a 1st. Brissett then looked towards an open DeAndre Carter who was heading towards the end zone but was hit as he threw, and the ball once again ended up in the hands of A.J. Epinesa as we could not catch a break. The Bills started out the fourth quarter up 17 and with the ball, and they started to get their ground game going, as well as finding a couple of short passes to pick up some first downs. Then on 2nd and 2, Josh Allen looked over the middle for Stephon Diggs, but it was Xavier McKinney who stepped in front of it, made the pick, and was able to avoid the O-line and go all the way for a touchdown to change the momentum of this game, with it being just a 10-point lead now. The Bills came back out on offense with a bit more pressure now, especially as Nyheim Hines was stopped short to bring up a 3rd and 1 where Josh Allen found Dawson Knox for a first. Then on the next play, Allen took the snap, rolled left, threw that one across his body looking for Stephon Diggs, but once again it was Xavier McKinney stepping in front of it and getting the Giants right back into this one. We came out throwing as Brissett found DeAndre Carter down the seam for a first down and then went for Mike Gesicki but missed him, who was open over the middle. And on 2nd and 10, he went back to Carter, who had another first down, this time inside the red zone. On 1st and 10, he tried Gesicki again, and this time was able to find him, which set up a 3rd and goal where Saquon was able to get outside and score the touchdown to make the lead just 3 with less than a minute to go. The Bills came out on offense with a lot of pressure now, needing a few first downs to clinch it. Josh Allen started off throwing that one short to Nyheim Hines, who stayed in bounds and made it 2nd and inches, where Josh Allen was able to get a QB sneak and then just kneel out the clock, as that is your ball game. The Bills hold off the Giants' comeback attempt to win an absolute thriller in New York by just a field goal, with the final score being 31-28. Brissett's 3 interceptions, with 2 of which going to A.J. Epinesa, ruined Xavier McKinney's 3 interception day, and we were once again right back to under 500.